Welcome, Senior 1 students, and today we're going to have an introduction to sonnets. Okay, first of all, I need to know the difference between the sonnet and the poem. The sonnet is the same like the poem, but this sonnet, it has something different like, for example, first, it has 14 lines, unlike the normal poems that you studied before. This sonnet, okay, it should have 14 lines. The division of the lines is different from one sonnet to the other. They should have a regular rhyme, okay? So in the sonnets that you're going to study this year and the next year, you will notice that the writer or the poet, he put there a regular rhyme for his sonnets. It should have also something called regular meter. Meter is related to the beats, to the sounds that are we have it all the time in the lines. Okay, and we're gonna see it in detail this year and also the next year. Do we have one type of sonnets? No, we have three types of sonnets: Spenserian sonnets, Petrarchan sonnets, and Shakespearean sonnets. Of course, the most famous of them is Shakespearean sonnets that we're gonna have it in senior one. In senior two, you are going to study for the or in the Petrarchan sonnets, you're gonna study on his blindness for John Milton. Okay, this year you're gonna study some sonnets for the famous poet or the greatest figure in English literature, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born in 1564, which means in the 16th century, and he died in 1616, which means in the 17th century. This man, William Shakespeare, is the most famous writer in English literature. He was not only a poet, he was also a playwright and an actor, which is something great. He wrote about 38 plays, 154 sonnets. Oh, so it shows you that this man is such a great poet. He wrote also two long narrative poems, like telling a story in the form of a poem, and also he wrote some other verses somehow similar to the poems that he wrote. This man, his works are translated or they were translated into different languages all over history, and that's why made him the greatest writer in English literature. Okay, and that's something significant and it's a great thing for you. Okay. If I want to say that this sonnet is a Shakespearean sonnet, it should have some features like number one, in all his sonnets, he has 14 lines and he divide them in the following way. You have the first three parts, okay, made up of four lines, and he called them quatrains. Okay, the quatrain is a stanza that has about four lines. In the first three quatrains, he begins by introducing for you the subject of the sonnet and then the theme of the sonnet in stanza or quatrain number two and three. And at the end, you have two lines. We call them heroic couplet, and they introduce the conclusion of the poem or the sonnet. Number two, as we said about the sonnets, he has a regular rhyme. Okay, what is the strict rhyme scheme that Shakespeare follows in his poems or sonnets? A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, G G, and that's regular in all his sonnets. Written in iambic pentameter. Okay, iambic pentameter, it's the division or related to the idea of meter that we talked about it before. You have in each line 10 syllables, okay? And as we know before, in the middle stage, I can divide the syllables by the vowels. The main vowel letters that we have in English, A, E, I, O, U. Okay, the word itself is divided into two syllables. The first one is unstressed, and the second one is stressed. And that's what you're gonna see in his sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And it has another name, Sonnet 18. Okay, we're gonna see the meter in detail in this one. Okay, we had before something like that when we were talking about dividing the word handsome into two syllables, beautiful into three syllables, if you remember, by using the vowels. Okay, so how do I say that this is a Shakespearean sonnet? Number one, I should have 14 lines divided into three quatrains and one heroic couplet. a strict rhyme scheme, as we say A B A B C D C D E F E F G G, and written in iambic pentameter, as we said. We are dividing the line into 10 syllables, and each syllable or each word has two syllables. The first one is unstressed, and the second one is stressed. I focus on the pronunciation of the second part of the word. Hopefully that this part will be beneficial for you. Till we meet again, thank you so much.